What's going on, everyone? Bran here from Bloody Breakdown, and today we have what I'm going to, at this juncture, continue to label rumors as it relates to characters from the upcoming Scream 5 film. Now, all of my information is coming directly from a fellow horror YouTuber by the name of Zach Cherry, and whether this stuff turns out to be completely factually accurate, if it's just rumors and nothing more, I have to give props to Zach Cherry for putting in the work, for doing an amazing job of compiling what he has and giving us this information. Now, I'm going to be going over some of the information that he went over earlier today in his video he released, and I'm going to have my own commentary for it, and I'm going to have my own opinions and whatnot, of course, but I really want to reiterate one more time, Zach Cherry, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not subscribed to him and you are a fan of the Scream franchise, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Go check out his channel. He's doing amazing work. Like I said, if you're a fan of the Scream franchise, the guy is damn near untouchable when it comes to that franchise. Amazing work. Now, before we get into it, I want to say, once again, it's just rumors, ladies and gentlemen. This hasn't been confirmed by Spyglass, but Zach does claim to have a source, which for obvious reasons, I don't believe he is named. But this is the information that we have, and I'm going to go over it real quick because, the meat of this is really my own commentary. But this is the information that came from Zach's channel this morning. These are characters that are said to be a part of the Scream 5 film. Now, before we get into anything else, let's also take into consideration that at the beginning of his video, his source also claims that the production sheet that we saw a couple of weeks ago that I never reported on because I didn't know, and honestly still don't know if it's factually accurate. We do know David Arquette's going to be a part of this film. That much we know. We've heard that straight from the horse's mouth. However, this production sheet also listed Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell. Now, there's been no confirmation on either of these actresses if they're going to be in the film. I know there were some rumors going around that Neve Campbell wasn't exactly very satisfied with the dollar signs that came along with her Scream 5 contract, but his source is claiming that was a legitimate production sheet. Now, there have been, to my understanding, some people at Spyglass wanting to remove that, and I think that has more to do with the fact that there are some personal emails and email addresses and phone numbers that are on there that, maybe it's not a good idea just throwing that out there to the general public, especially with such a rabid fan base like Scream. So, if that's accurate, with these 8 characters and the core 3, we're already talking 11 characters. They're going to be splitting up some screen time here. So that's something to take into consideration also. But let's go ahead and run this down really quickly. So first off, the very first character we see here is Sarah, said to be 24 years old, smart and caring, left her hometown as soon as she turned 18, haunted by a troubled past. Now that tells us right there that Sarah is the individual that we've heard about in the synopsis, the summary of what this film's going to be about. A young woman returning to her hometown after a grisly crime is committed. So what I'm getting out of this is that Sarah is going to be our new Sydney in a way. I think we saw how in Scream 4 it looked like Jill was going to be fulfilling this role as the new survivor girl, as the new Sydney, so to speak. I think Sarah's going to be taking up the mantle in this one. I think that goes without saying. It says she's once a teenage bad girl, however, now has a steady boyfriend, works at Costco. How interesting is that? And you know what? I kind of like that. I kind of like the fact that we're finally getting a Scream movie where not everyone, is a cop or a, Hollywood actor or, some big career. We're talking about people who are in their early 20s working at Costco. I don't know why, but something about that is just interesting to me. I think it's pretty relatable. to a lot of people out there. And I just kind of like it. And I don't know why. I guess it's kind of refreshing, honestly. So up next, we have Teresa, who is described as 18 years old and Sarah's younger sister. Been estranged from her sister for several years and feels angry and heartbroken that Sarah left her alone to deal with a rough home life, which obviously would be why Sarah left home at 18. And has her issues of her own. By the way, I wanted to, I did skip over this, but it also mentions that Sarah relies heavily on medication for her own sanity. So these two obviously had a very unsavory upbringing at home. And you got to feel like Teresa's going to play a major role in this film as well, being her younger sister, having a lot of backstory with what looks like could be the face of this film in Sarah in a lot of ways. So next up is Ryan, apparently 25, upbeat, good-natured, sweet and kind, and he is Sarah's boyfriend, also works at Costco. I don't know why I like that. I really do, though. I'm going to keep harping on it. It's such a stupid, minute detail, but I like it. And like Zach Cherry brought up earlier today in his video, we could get a pretty interesting Costco chase scene. I'm down for it. So it says he really cares about Sarah, and he's very sensitive to her feelings. Obviously, she deals with a lot of emotions. Obviously, she comes with a lot of baggage, and it sounds like Ryan is very sensitive to that. Also, we have Layla, also described as 18 years old, so I'm assuming she's going to be more or less in Teresa's group of friends. It does mention that she is friends with Teresa here, but the age just in and of itself kind of gives that away for me. Layla is going to be Cal's girlfriend. That's a character we're going to get into here in just a minute. Next up, we have Maude, 18 years old, Hispanic. Maude is confident, outspoken, and she is Cal's twin sister, known for saying it as it is, telling it like it is. Maybe reminiscent of a Tatum, so to speak. At least that's what I see. Annie, 18 years old. Annie is tough, sarcastic, is Teresa's girlfriend for, I think, for a year here, meaning their relationship is in at least a year. She's very protective of Teresa and doesn't like Sarah. So obviously she's kind of pick sides, obviously, not too keen on Sarah, I'm assuming leaving her to deal with whatever it is she deals with at home. And that's something else I think that's pretty interesting, is that we're already getting to a family dynamic with this new main character. And that's something we saw out of Sydney through the original trilogy and even into Scream 4. These films are built on that family dynamic. Wes Craven even talked about it before his passing, about how these films, at their core are family. I don't want to say family films, but films about family. That's what they are at their core. So, let's see here. Where did I leave off? We have Will, who's 17 years old, good student, doesn't like getting into trouble, and he's one of Teresa's good friends. And, of course, Cal, 18 years old, Hispanic. Cal is Maude's twin brother, athletic, self-confident, and Layla's boyfriend. So we have a core group here. And what I'm gathering from this, just looking at the ages and some of the descriptions, it looks to me like Teresa, Layla, Maude, Annie, Will, and Cal are going to be high school students. They're going to be, that, like I think we saw in the original film and Scream 4, that kind of core cast of high school seniors around that age. But Ryan and Sarah being a tad bit older, probably not going to be a part of that clique, that group, so to speak. And they're going to have a lot of their own things going on. Of course, there is a lot of tie-in, being that Teresa and Sarah are sisters. And it seems like everyone in here is either dating or related. So of all the 8 characters, it really looks like there is, even if they're not in that same group or clique, they all have ties to one another. And I find that very interesting. I think that we could be looking into some possible Ghostface motives here. Now, I'm not going to get into that in this one. I have a whole nother video set up to talk about some things like that. Although I will say, if this information is accurate, it is totally going to destroy my pitch for Scream 5. But hey, whatever. I'm glad there's at least some kind of information coming out here. Now, Zach mentioned that he does have some of the audition tapes. Apparently, the code has been cracked on those Vimeo videos. So that's interesting. Once again, another reason to go check his stuff out. I believe he is sending the link and password on Instagram if you DM him. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely go ahead and check that out. So we have 8 characters here that are brand new to the Scream franchise. We have 3, one confirmed, the other 2 apparently said by the same source to be returning, which brings us to 11 characters. Now, with that said, these characters seem to be the core group, the group that are going to be getting the most screen time, they're going to be getting the most dialogue. There's also going to be several side characters you have to imagine with police officers, with teachers, parents, authority figures, side characters, any and all falling under that banner, which, probably won't get a whole lot of screen time. And I think at this juncture, that's probably for the best. I share a lot of and not just Zach talking about this, but I've seen a lot of people on Twitter talking about this, and everyone has kind of honed in on the thing that I'm concerned about as well. And that is the fact that we have 11 characters that are going to have to share the screen, that are all tied into the main character in some shape, way, form, or fashion. And it is a little bit, I struggle to put a word on this, but I guess for lack of a better term, concerning. It's a bit concerning to have this many characters, if indeed this is how this goes down. However, I will say that there were a lot of characters in Ready or Not, which is another film that was directed by Radio Silence, who is at the helm of this project as well. With that being said, I think they do have the potential to handle a lot of characters. You look at Ready or Not, and the whole film pretty much takes place in one house. Granted, it's a fucking mansion, but it's one house. So I think they did a really good job with that, to be honest with you. And I think that it's doable. Now, is it doable in a Scream film particularly? Because if you look, I think a lot of the issues that you had with, in particular, Scream 3 and 4, is that there was really an overabundance of characters. And you look, someone like Trevor or Robbie, for example, in Scream 4, I don't think were given enough screen time. I don't think they were given enough dialogue. I don't think we really learned enough about him, especially someone like Trevor. You go back even further to Scream 3, Angelina Tyler, that character, a character who at one point in time was slated to be one of the Ghostface killers alongside Roman Bridger. Obviously that didn't happen, but at the same time, her character, I believe, from the original script is cut down dramatically. Even people who, other than just people like Tom Prinz, who, randomly blew up or whatever in a very non-Scream death, midway through the film, people like Tyson's character, he lasted all the way into the 3rd act, and I don't know much about that character. So it is a bit concerning to see some things like that. I think that what we have here in front of us with these 8 characters I think it could be strong enough on its own for a Scream film. But if we go that route, I think this turns into more of a Scream TV series, honestly. I struggle to see where any of the legacy, the core 3 characters, are going to fit into this. This seems like its own story. This seems like its own thing. It seems like season 4 of the Scream TV series almost at this point. And I'm not against new characters. Obviously, I've, some great characters have come along that weren't there from the beginning. Kirby has still got a really big following. And by the way, I don't see anything about Kirby here in this either. And at this point, even if the character is alive, is it a good move to bring her in with this many characters? I'd have to say no at this point. So, where would a Sidney, Dewey, and a Gale fall into this? And, I'm not really sure, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know if Woodsboro is going to be where this goes down. Obviously, I would say with the information that we have, I don't believe that would be the case. Totally could be wrong on that. That's pure speculation, as, most of this is at this point. But I don't see where a Sidney, Dewey, or a Gale falls into this story. Like I said, it seems like the story already has a lot of the elements just looking at these 8 characters. Now, obviously Sidney and Gale not confirmed to be characters in this film, but Dewey is, however. And, like I said, even just looking at Dewey, I don't see where he would fall into this, especially if this doesn't take place in Woodsboro, where he's presumably still a part of the force, probably sheriff still. But, as many questions as this poses and as many concerns as this raises, I would still have to say that I think that looking at these characters, looking at the breakdown, I can already start to see some things fall into place. Now, can I see this this movie in its entirety? Of course not. But I see certain things falling into place for this. I see motives for potential Ghostface killers falling into place, just based off of what I'm seeing here. Now, before we depart, I just want to say, once again, these are rumors as far as I'm concerned. Not that I don't, trust Zach's sources. Like I said, in my opinion, he's a very trustworthy YouTuber. He doesn't just put, BS stuff from We Got This Covered out there or something like that. I would trust his channel, and if he feels like it's worthy to put up on his channel, then, especially how he's growing his channel, and it's growing very quickly. I have to give him props for that. If it's something that he feels like it should go up, then I'd put some stock in it. So I think that what we have here is pretty interesting. I do have some concerns, but at the same time, I do have a good bit of faith in Radio Silence and some of the talent working as far as behind the scenes on this thing. They've constantly produced really good work. And they seem to have a real respect for Wes Craven's work, for the Scream franchise, for Wes Craven himself. And I'm still very upbeat about it. Like I said, I'm sitting here speculating. Let's say these 8 characters plus the core 3 come back, and they do a really fantastic job of integrating them all together. They do a fantastic job of divvying up the screen time, and we get to understand these characters and learn about these characters. And even, dare I say, care about these characters. Because, ladies and gentlemen, that's what it's all about. I love a good schlocky slasher just as much as anybody else. I love a good Saw flick just as much, torture porn type stuff just as much as anybody else. But I gotta say, it really helps whenever you care about a character, when they bite the big one and you actually give a damn. So I just really hope that in all of this information, I hope what comes is that we have some really good fleshed out characters that have the time that is necessary to get us to care about them, to learn about them, and to want to see more of them. Because I really believe that if Spyglass does a good job of this could open the door for more than just a Scream 6. There's no telling how long this could go. So I'm like I said, I'm a bit reserved about some of the information that I got, a little concerned, but I still have faith in it. And once again, I know I'm beating the hell out of this dead horse, but pure speculation and rumors as far as I'm concerned right now, until we see something concrete from Spyglass, or, something along that matter, I'd say an authoritative source, so to speak. Then I'm going to still consider this rumors. But with that said, I want to know what you all think about this. Leave me your comments down below. Do you buy into this? Do you believe that we're really right now looking at a list of characters that are going to be taking part in the next endeavor in the Scream franchise? And if so, what do you think about these characters? It does seem to be a bit more of a diverse cast than what we're used to out of a Scream film. Just let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I love having a conversation with you all about this, speculating, really just geeking the fuck out over something that we all enjoy. I guess that'll be about it for this one. Definitely leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe and even turn on notifications just by clicking that bell, so you'll never miss myself going live or an upload here at Bloody Breakdown. And definitely check down below in the description section where you'll see a couple of links to follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, so follow, friend, like, share, and all that jazz. And I also have a Patreon. If you guys are interested in supporting my work, I would greatly appreciate it. Obviously, no pressure. I know it's hard times for a lot of people right now. But if it's something that you could do and you think that you should do, once again, greatly appreciated. So with that said, I'm Brand from Bloody Breakdown. It is now your turn to sound off in the comments section. One more big shout out to Zach Cherry. I'm going to leave his link in the description. If you're not subbed to him and you're a Scream fan, yeah, get over there. What are you doing? So yes, I'm Brand from Bloody Breakdown. Pretty interesting news on the Scream front, and we'll catch you all next time.